Bruce Lee stunned Americans with his exceptional skill and innovative combat tactics before he ever broke into the Hong Kong film business. Shannon Lee has recently revealed some deeply personal details about her father's life, shedding light on the man behind the legend and revealing more about his legendary status. But there's a terrible backstory to his fame and fortune. What we already knew is now confirmed by Bruce Lee's daughter. Bruce Lee Jun Fan was born on November 27, 1940, in San Francisco, California, to parents who were international operators. His birth name was Bruce. Grace Ho, a woman of Eurasian descent born in Shanghai, and her famous Cantonese opera singer father, Li Hoi Chen, gave their son a diverse cultural background. Bruce was just 4 months old when the Lee family returned to Hong Kong, and he was again in the city all by himself. They had no idea that the years ahead would be filled with surprises. Amidst the chaos of World War II, Japan surprised the world in December 1941 by attacking Hong Kong, a city it ruled for 4 years. In the crucible of adversity, young Bruce's character is shaped by this period, which was a tough time for the Lee family. Envision a society where you are the center of attention from the time you're a baby. That, my friend, is the tale of Bruce Lee, whose adventure started in the magical realm of film. Bruce first appeared in Golden Gate Girl after being born to the famous Cantonese opera singer Li Hoi Chen. He began his career at the tender age of 9, co-starring alongside his father and the child, and quickly racked up 20 films by the time he was 18, gaining the moniker Lee the Little Dragon based on his zodiac sign. Why not start at a young age? It is very remarkable. There was an unexpected twist to his scholarly pursuits. Having attended Tak Sun School and then St. Francis Xavier's College, where the curriculum included boxing and a hint of mischief, Bruce was doomed to achieve fame in martial arts. Now, the bumpy section of the story starts with the notorious IP Man. Lee was first turned away from IP Man school, but a friend's intervention helped him gain admission, and he soon found himself immersed in the world of Wing Chun Kung Fu. However, not all students were welcoming of him, which mirrored the prevailing attitudes of that era. Unfazed, Bruce persisted in his private training, demonstrating remarkable resilience. Now jump ahead to Bruce's adolescence, when he engaged in intense street fights, often going up against the son of a triad family. Every battle has its own unique drama. Angry people on rooftops, unjust fists, knocked teeth, and the intervention of the police. An intense rivalry between schools in 1958 culminated in a memorable rooftop brawl. Bruce's mom stepped in and helped him find his way to the United States. Are you starting to feel the pressure when you're 18? Bruce encountered the difficulties of a new nation and juggled school and employment upon his arrival in the United States. Then we may dive into the emotional flow. In 1959, he started teaching Gun Fu at the Lee Gun Fu Institute, fulfilling a lifelong goal. His fervor was contagious. After graduating from high school in 1961, Bruce attended the University of Washington to study philosophy, psychology, and dramatic arts. By 1964, he had left school and was co-founder of an Oakland martial arts school with James Yim Lee. In 1964, things became dicey when Bruce sparked disputes about his pedagogical style with a contentious match versus Wong Jackman. In the sexy 60s, when Bruce Lee first appears on American television, he showcases Asian martial arts prowess as Kato in the 1966 to 1967 Green Hornet, a role that shatters preconceptions. However, unseen by the public, it is not an easy task. Lee refuses to use slow motion since his motions are too rapid, despite the director's request that he use American-style punches. He brings along his martial arts partner, Jean LaBelle. Their chemistry set the stage for a monumental event. That confrontation with Wong Jackman, not just a battle, but a revelation. Bruce comes up with a fresh formula for success: practicality, adaptability, speed, and efficiency after realizing he has unrealized potential. Its legendary status captivates Hollywood. After Bruce and the Silent Flute team up in 1969, The same script is used to create Circle of Iron in 1978. The silver screen isn't Bruce's only passion either. He starts off strong in 1969 with Marlowe and offers karate tips on Wrecking Crew TV. In 1970, he adds some spice by choreographing combat scenes for All Walk in the Spring Ring. He also gets a taste of Here Come the Brides and Blondie. In 1971, Bruce captivates audiences with Longstreet, expertly blending his philosophical views. He presents the fighter full of ideas, but Warner Brothers and Paramount have alternative plans, which disappoints Bruce. The revised idea comes out as Kung Fu denying him credit, even if it has a facelift. As soon as Lee's accent or ethnicity is brought up, the finger-pointing starts. David Carradine, on the other hand, gets the part. Lee, ever practical, goes back to Hong Kong and makes great movies, such Fist of Fury and The Big Boss. In the now iconic confrontation with Chuck Norris, Lee seizes control and leads the way of the dragon. He begins Game of Death in 1972, but he is enticed to join the dragon by Warner Brothers. With a meager budget of about $850,000, Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon burst on his screens, earning over $400 million worldwide and solidifying his legendary position. Hits like Kung Fu fighting and motivational television series were born out of the film's martial arts fad. There is a chapter in Bruce Lee's illustrious life that deals with personal challenges as well as professional highs and lows. His ever-supportive wife, Linda Lee, became embroiled in a contentious disagreement after she disagreed with one decision. Bruce and Linda got into a heated disagreement over moving back to Los Angeles, as stated in Bruce Lee's biography. Linda was unhappy for a number of reasons, one of which was her worry for their children's upbringing in Hong Kong. They were going through a hard patch as a family. Linda couldn't help but express her feelings as she watched Bruce proudly highlight his son Brandon's accomplishments in Hong Kong. "My wish is that we can get back to Los Angeles without delay." She said that the children would not be able to lead a typical life there. While Bruce was enjoying himself at home, Linda's anxieties were building. The book says that Linda's anxiety was over more than just their whereabouts. Major sources of stress for her included her dissatisfaction with Bruce's changed conduct after the daring incident and her worries about the future of their children in light of Bruce's deteriorating health. There were a lot of obstacles for the family to overcome when Bruce passed away. Linda was confronted with a complicated legal predicament in addition to emotional pain following Bruce's unexpected passing at the age of 32. The family's financial stability and future were in jeopardy because there was no valid will and their resources were small. After Bruce passed away, tensions rose between the Lee family and Linda, who had authority over his estate. According to the family, Bruce's films and licenses brought in a lot of money, but Linda kept much of it for herself. The intellectual property rights were the subject of subsequent legal disputes. Raymond Chow, Bruce's business partner, purchased the bulk of his inheritance in 1976, which included interests in his production company situated in Hong Kong. Third parties were sued over licensing concerns involving Bruce's name, likeness, and image. Shannon, who was instrumental in establishing Bruce Lee Enterprises, BLEL, was the recipient of Linda's 2008 assignment of her stake in the Publicity Rock rights. BLE asserts its status as the present rights holder, with licensing Bruce's image reportedly bringing in roughly $10 million per annum. Producers of goods featuring Bruce Lee, for example, are not the only ones who need licensing. Fortune Star Entertainment and Warner Brothers Entertainment owned the rights to Bruce's films. Because there was no will, the family had to deal with a lot of uncertainty. Bruce might have saved himself a lot of trouble in court by giving a straight answer about how his name, likeness, and inheritance should be used. Shannon Lee, writing her remarkable story in silence, becomes the unheralded heroine of the Lee family drama. Shannon has had an extraordinary life, even if her famous father gets all the attention. Just the story of an ordinary woman's journey, without any tragic ends or Hollywood blockbusters. While juggling parenthood, marriage, and a successful acting and producing career, Shannon isn't just following in her father's footsteps, she's making her own way. And you know what? The terrible death of her brother inspired her to become an outspoken champion for gun safety, so she's not only into entertainment. It's an issue that she feels strongly about, and she's fearlessly advocating for change while filming. How did you arrive to this realization? However, let's get into the core issue about her father's legacy. With the help of the Bruce Lee Foundation, Shannon founded summer camps where aspiring martial artists and philosophers could study Lee's teachings. The Bruce Lee Snapchat account has been passed down to her daughter Rin, who is now responsible for keeping the legacy alive. Not every ride was rainbows and unicorns. It was a moving trip for Shannon as she reluctantly dove into her father's martial arts world. Particularly following her brother's death, Hollywood presented difficulties. A scenario her father had envisioned came to light. Nevertheless, at that point, Warrior, which provides compelling narratives on Max, came to fruition with the assistance of Justin Lin. Have you ever wanted to know Shannon's opinion? Although she has little recollections of her father, she cherishes the brief moments when she feels his presence. She explores his legacy and acknowledges Bruce Lee's lasting significance on the official Warrior podcast. The importance of his teachings on self-improvement and reaching one's full potential is profound. What were some of the difficulties he had upon arriving in Hollywood following his success as a younger actor? The lack of Chinese starring guys in Hollywood made it very difficult. He declined to play parts that he believed betrayed his culture, and many of the parts were overly stereotypical. Additionally, he had a hard time breaking it. Wait a second. Shannon wants everyone to know a dreadful truth. She isn't hesitant to point up when Hollywood makes a mistake. Her dad was formerly represented in Hollywood as a cold, heartless, and extremely competitive male lead. But guess what? Far from that, the truth was, Bruce Lee's legacy extends far beyond his on-screen heroics. He was determined to dismantle preconceptions and promote diversity. Tell me about a Bruce Lee memory that stands out to you. Put it down in the comments section.